Hello my fellow Coonbenders, and I got a question for you. Out of the hundreds of different ways that a person could perish, would it really be that unbelievable to assume that one of the most interesting ways to go out would be in your sleep? Hello, I am KonaKona, and today I will be discussing a theory about one of my favorite characters in all of anime. A certain blue-haired character, Nemu Fujimai. So before we begin, who is Nemu? Well, Nemu is a character from the manga and anime series Onimai. She is a blue-haired, green-eyed girl who goes to the same school as our main character Mayuro. And if you also watch the show, then you would know that one of her main, and very cute may I add, trademarks is that she is in a constant state of sleepiness. Just an absolute napper. One could even say that she is kind of a very eepy girl. A bit of a drowsy individual even. But what if I were to tell you that there is possibly maybe a reason as to why she sleeps so much? And not for the reason that you may think. Especially if you read the manga fed you propaganda to hide the truth. Nagotofu lied to you. But I tell you what, I have seen the truth, okay? I have seen the truth. I have spent the last 2 months studying and researching about possible connections to Nemu and have found out everything about her. Why she sleeps so much, hidden lore, and overall what may be her darkest secret. And I gotta say, I have uncovered a bit of evidence to back up all the weird shit I'm about to say. Okay, I put a lot of research into this. I had like fucking 12 Chrome tabs open while researching for this, okay? Have you ever just opened up one Chrome tab before? That shit is not easy on the old shitbox I have. So, without further interruptions, sit back, relax, and allow me to explain to you who Nemu really is. Now, to really start this crackpot theory off, we have to get the more well-known stuff out of the way, so that I may prove what I am trying to say. Our topic today is named Nemu Fujimi. Now, let's look at the name Nemu. What does the name Nemu mean? Well, her non-existent parents seem to know what she was destined to become because the name Nemu in Japanese means sleep. It just means sleep. There's no deeper meaning behind it now that I think about it. And wow, sleep she does. And to the average competitive sleeper such as myself, she must seem like the most drowsiest person on the planet. For Christ's sake, she almost walked into oncoming traffic just a few chapters ago. Like, Jesus, Nemu, what the actual fuck? Now I know what the manga readers in the comments might be thinking to themselves. Oh, KonaKona, we already know why Nemu's always sleepy during the daytime. It's because she's a hardcore gamer during the night. In fact, she plays with Mahiro on an online game. That is exactly where I made the connection. Now, stay with me here. The two current facts we have gotten down so far is that Nemu is a pretty avid sleeper and that she is an epic gamer at night. Those two things we know. But are video games really the reason behind her lack of sleep during the night? Or perhaps she is so connected to the power of sleep and so in tune with her true drowsiness that she subconsciously sleeps at certain times of the day. Exhibit A. In a special chapter, chapter 62.5 to be exact, we get to see Nemu during her special summer break. And despite how short this special might be, it reveals a big point that I want to make. In this chapter, Nemu is looking for a new hammock to buy, which is not out of the ordinary as hammocks are quite comfortable options if you plan to chill during a hot summer day. And chill she does, loving every second of it. Until she falls asleep. Once Nemu finally wakes up, it is revealed to us that nighttime has already come, and if you ask me, Nemu seems just as surprised at this newfound fact, as you can see with the big ass question mark poking out of her. Some simple-minded people may come to the quick conclusion that Nemu may just be like narcoleptic or some shit, but the seemingly constant routine of being fully awake during the night and being asleep all day just doesn't add up to me, since narcolepsy doesn't always guarantee you falling asleep at around the same time every single day like it does to Nemu. So I have a different proposal. I'm gonna sound like a fucking psychopath for saying this. Throughout the entire history of the Greek world, there has come and gone dozens upon dozens of different gods throughout history. And each of those gods represent many different things and aspects of human life. One of those gods' name is Hypnos. the god of sleep and hypnosis. Now, I already know what you're gonna say, Kona, just because she sleeps a lot doesn't mean that she's a god. What the hell are you fucking talking about? And that may be true, but there's more of a connection between these two than just sleep. Now, yes, Hypnos was mostly known as a personification of sleep, but Hypnos was also known to be quite a trickster, a master at manipulating, if you will. Now, Nemu would never lie, would she? A seemingly nice and gentle person who wouldn't lie or manipulate people for her own benefit or gain. Well, my dear viewer, as I said earlier, Nemu is an avid gamer, and since chapter 78 it was revealed that Nemu started playing with My Hero on their online game, their MMO, and it's basically a complete 180 to how she is in real life. She is 1,000 times more talkative in this game than she is in real life. Why could this be? Is she simply being who she wants to be within the game, or is it something that she can't tell anybody? Is her playing this game and chatting with My Hero, a cover-up for something more devious? Now, I gotta say, personally, I will admit, that one's kind of stretch. Maybe she really is just shy out in the open, but my next example is almost irrefutable. In chapter 91.5 of the manga, it is revealed how Nemu became friends with her friend named Nodoka. In said chapter, Nemu catches the eye of Nodoka, then leading Nodoka to ask Nemu to walk home together, only to then suddenly fall asleep while walking, almost walking into oncoming traffic and then slamming her head into a light pole. Now, one may think that this may have just been accidental, but remember what I said earlier about the god of sleep, Hypnos? Hypnos was also known to be quite a trickster and a manipulator, even being able to trick the god Zeus twice. Now, call me a skeptic, but it is my best guess to say that Nemu is very much aware of the fact that she is predestined to fall asleep during the day and wake up at night. So, knowing this fact, wouldn't it be strategically important to have somebody who could take care of you while you're in the sleepy, dazed state? Even if it meant manipulating another person to do so, and even more so to peacefully and blissfully do so, as if she didn't even need to think to do this for it to happen. If Nodoka felt bad enough for her that she would take care of Nemu all throughout high school, then this might make sense. There is a lot more that they have in comparison than one may think. Now, another fact that may change your view on her is her hair. Blue hair. Now, blue hair may not seem like a big deal, but one of the main defining characteristics of the color blue, among a lot of others, is that the shade blue represents feelings of calmness, relaxation, and unwinding, which, if one were wanting to easily manipulate an individual, presenting the color blue to said person may evoke feelings of calm and relaxation. A perfect lure for a master manipulator's next move, to lure your prey into a false sense of security, only to land a lethal blow. But my friends, this last bit of evidence is the most important, and it has to do with Nodoka. You see, Hypnos, the sleep god, wasn't an only child. He had a brother named Thanatos. Thanatos? I don't know how the fuck to say that name. Or Thanos for short. And Thanatos was known to be the personification of death. Now, what the hell does this have to do with Nodoka? Well, Nodoka's full name is Nodoka Fushimi. The word Fushimi in Japanese meaning lying down, and the name Nodoka meaning peaceful. And in many religions, the act of dying or passing on is seen as going to a more peaceful place, a place of calm. But before one dies, they have to lie down. A possible connection between these two characters. Is it really too crazy to assume that just maybe these two characters are the personification of peace and death, the thin red line between being alive and being dead, held on by a thread? Nemu, aware of her mortality and her weakened state during the day, has subconsciously become dependent on Nodoka to keep her alive during the day. Hypnos lived next to his twin brother, Thanatos, in the underworld, where the rays of the sun never reached them. The sun is her enemy, and in her effort to protect herself from the sun's evil rays, she has either knowingly or unknowingly become connected to the god of death, trading one possible death that may or may not happen for the personification of death itself. Nemu, at least in my opinion, is a deeply philosophical and interesting character, much more than some people realize. On her desperate quest to stay alive, the goddess of sleep, terrified of her own mortality, manipulated to cheat death, only to be greeted with death itself. Because when you think about it, the act of sleep is just death being shy.